Hi, I'm Mike, PokeTips Mike, and I feel like at some point, every Pokemon fan imagined themselves as a real-life Pokemon trainer somewhere in the vast world of Pokemon. I can even remember a time back when I was in elementary school where me and my friends on the playground pretended we were some sort of Elite Four, where we were the best trainers in the whole entire school, and you couldn't call yourself a true Pokemon master unless you were able to defeat us and our team of Mewtwo, Groudon, and a whole bunch of different legendaries in battles. So today, I'm going to be jumping back to that time a little bit. I'll be telling you what it would be like if I, PokeTips Mike, was a gym leader in the world of Pokemon. I actually had a fan request this video over on my Instagram after he saw a few other Poketubers make this type of video, and I thought it was a very fun idea, so without further ado, let's jump right into it. So first off, I feel like one of the most important things about being a gym leader is the location of your gym. You can definitely see that, especially in the newer Pokemon games like Sword and Shield, that the theme of your gym generally fits with the location of where it's at. Like the wonderful City of Balloons with all the majestic energy going on around it, it has a fairy-type gym. I started playing Pokemon with Pokemon Gold version, so the Johto region, it has a special place in my heart. So naturally, I would want to establish my Pokemon gym somewhere in the Johto region, but there's a problem. The Johto region, well, it already has 8 gyms. So I could either replace one of those gyms in the Johto region, which wouldn't be too hard, a lot of the gym leaders there are kind of pushovers, or I could get extra creative and make a gym in my own location. And I think that's what I would want to do. So me, I would set up my gym at the Lake of Rage. Fun fact, if you didn't already know, the Lake of Rage was originally supposed to be its own little town or area in Pokemon Gold and Silver that had plenty of buildings and a Pokemon gym a long time ago. But somewhere in the game's development, they said, no, we're not doing that, we're just gonna turn it into a lake, put a few houses there, and slap a giant shiny Gyarados in the middle of it. Now that's pretty cool, I love being able to go there and get a red Gyarados, but that leaves us with plenty of room to develop with. So I think I'll just move a few trees around, and I'll be able to put my gym right here. Yeah, that would put my gym pretty close to Mahogany Town or the gym leader Price, but you know, he's getting a little old, maybe he wants to retire, or we could just battle to see who gets to run a gym. And I've thought about it, and I think I'll be a Dark-type gym leader. Now, I chose the Dark-type for a few reasons. Number one, I realized I just like a lot of Dark-type Pokemon. There are so many cool ones, like Umbreon, Sneasel and Weavile, Absol. I just like a lot of Dark-type Pokemon. And number two, when you look at the Kanto and the Johto regions together, and you look at all 16 gym leaders, the only type of gym leader that is not represented there is the Dark-type. Well, and also Fairy-type, but Fairy-type didn't exist when Johto first came out. So I feel like that would fit really well with the Kanto and the Johto League, so no type would be repeated. And as we've seen in the Pokemon anime, there can definitely be more than 8 gyms per region, as shown by Gary Oak and his 10 gym badges. Now, another reason for me being a Dark-type gym leader is I just find the type itself very interesting. In Japan, the Dark-type is actually called the Evil type. But I feel like all Pokemon are inherently good, and there really can't be any evil Pokemon. Well, maybe aside from Whitney's Miltank, that thing is pretty nasty. But come on, you can't look at this cute little Umbreon and tell me that's an evil Pokemon. So as a gym leader, I would raise and train Dark-type Pokemon up, and teach the trainers who would want to train under me that Dark-type Pokemon aren't evil. They can make fantastic and very powerful companions if you know how to train them properly. But for my gym puzzle, I'd be going pretty evil there. Coming up with the gym puzzle is probably the hardest part of this for me, because I'm just really not good at creating gym puzzles. I enjoy some gym puzzles like Crasher Wakes, controlling the tides of the gym to be able to navigate around, herding Wooloo around, and the pinball machine puzzle in Pokemon Sword and Shield. That one's a lot of fun, but I always thought for the longest time that if I ran a gym, I would just have a straight path right to me so anybody could just walk right up and challenge me. But what's the fun in that? So instead, I think I'll go with this ridiculously evil gym puzzle. As soon as you enter the gym guy comes up to you and grabs all your Pokemon. He takes the Pokeballs from you and plops them into some sort of machine which scatters them around the gym. And your task as a gym challenger is, well, to find your Pokemon. How are you gonna beat anybody in the gym without any Pokemon? So you'll take your first steps into the gym, but as soon as you start walking in, boom, lights out. You have a small circle illuminating the path around you, kind of like Brawly's gym in Ruby and Sapphire, so you can't really see too far ahead of you. Now at first, you'll just be wandering around the maze and eventually you'll find one of your Pokemon. But after you find a Pokemon, that's when the challenge really begins. I'll let my gym trainers start walking into the maze themselves, and if they find you, they'll battle you using their full team. Now, it won't be too hard, they only use like 2 to 4 Pokemon at a time, so you're not going to automatically lose to them, but immediately you'll have to overcome a challenge of being outnumbered. And under my tutelage, there'll be some pretty good trainers, so if they find you before you start collecting your Pokemon, you'll be at a huge disadvantage. The light around you that lets you see where you're going will get bigger when you either find one of your Pokemon or if you defeat one of my gym trainers. So how do you challenge me? Well, after you find 3 of your Pokemon in the dark maze, then I will enter the maze myself. And if I find you before you have all of your Pokemon, well, I'm challenging you to a battle with my full team, and we'll just go right at it. So the puzzle's kind of like a race against time, because you want to find your Pokemon as quickly as possible before one of the trainers find you, and also kind of like a horror Slender Man-like game, where you just don't want to get caught, and the more Pokemon or pages that you find, the harder the maze gets. Now, if you somehow find all of your Pokemon in the maze, boom! Lights are coming back on, I'll congratulate you, and we'll jump right into a battle. So once we start battling, what Pokemon am I going to use? Well, I'm definitely not going to limit myself to Pokemon from just the Kanto and the Johto regions, because if I do that, I'll have the wonderful choice of Umbreon, Murkrow, Sneasel, Houndour, Houndoom, and Tyranitar. And while that would be a full team of 6 Pokemon, no. Just no. The Pokemon I would lead off with is Weavile. Weavile has always been one of my favorites. I'll probably even have it by my side while I'm at the gym, and I think with its high attack and speed stat, it would be a deadly starter. As for the moveset, I would go with something like this. Fake Out definitely, because that would give me a huge advantage starting off the battle, being able to make your Pokemon flinch and just get a little damage off on it. Then the other 3 moves would be Ice Punch, Night Slash, and Taunt. I know there are definitely some better moves, but I'm an in-game gym leader. I'm not going to be using the strongest moveset there is. But I think all around this moveset is decent. It gives me all-around good coverage and plays to Weavile's strengths of being a fast and strong, powerful hitting Pokemon. Plus Taunt is there to make sure my opponents don't start off doing any shenanigans. Then from there, on the opposite spectrum, we're actually going to go with a more tanky Pokemon, Umbreon. I would think as a Pokemon gym leader, I would have invested a lot of time into training my Pokemon up, so if possible, I would use a shiny Umbreon, because that blue color is just so good. Now with Umbreon's moveset, we're going to go a lot more defensive here. We'll start things off with Toxic to give it a nice way to damage lots of Pokemon on my opponent's team, but we'll also give it the role of a healer. As a gym leader, I get to use a few Hyper Potions in my battle, maybe even a full restore if I'm lucky, but I want a different way to be able to heal my Pokemon up as well. That's why I'll give it the move Wish, so Umbreon will be able to heal itself up, but also its teammates if I deem that's necessary. To combo with Wish, we also need Protect, and I think as a final move, we would give it Foul Play. I'd assume to take out this Umbreon, my opponents would want to bring out Pokemon with high attack stats, and we can use the move Foul Play here to our advantage since it does damage based on my opponent's attack stat instead of mine. So my first 2 dark types are pretty standard Pokemon, but I think as a gym leader it would be wise to cover my weaknesses, which I know would obviously be the Fairy type, which is honestly a pretty annoying type for a lot of Pokemon to deal with, the Bug type, which I don't really think would be a huge problem, and the Fighting type, which Weavile especially would not like. So to cover those weaknesses, I would be bringing a Sableye onto the team. Sableye is always a Pokemon I've just found interesting. I love its design with all the gems, and I love its personality, especially in Pokemon Battle Revolution. When you use this Pokemon, it's just so animated. That, along with its typing, would do really well on my team. I'm definitely going to want this Sableye to have the hidden ability Prankster, which lets all of my status moves go first. And to play along with that, we're definitely going to give this Sableye some status moves to use. So I think number 1 would be give it Will-O-Wisp. Being able to burn my opponents is pretty important because it lowers their attack stat and does a little bit of damage every single turn. Now to go along with that, we definitely need a recovery move, so Recover, especially with the priority from Prankster, will work very nicely here. Then for the final 2 move slots, I think I'll give it Knock Off and Shadow Ball. This lets it use both of its typings really well, and Knock Off has the nice ability of being able to knock off my opponent's items if they happen to use any. The Sableye on my team would definitely be more of a crippling Pokemon rather than one I use for attacks, because its base stats are kind of low. Again, I could definitely optimize this moveset a little bit more and make it more strong overall, but I'm a gym leader, I don't want to go too crazy here. Although, I don't know, I'm starting to get into hidden ability territory that might be considered a little crazy. And to keep the craziness going, next I'm gonna use Greninja. Greninja, one of my all-time favorite starter Pokemon, and again, it's kind of a good example of how Dark-type Pokemon aren't exactly evil. I just don't think evil Pokemon would be given out as starter Pokemon. Having the hidden ability Protean on this Greninja would also make it really unique on my team, so it can easily change its type and get stab attack bonus on all of its moves, and also make sure it doesn't get hit by super effective ones easily. Now as for the moveset, I'd probably go with something crazy like this. Surf is a nice strong water type move. U-turn because that's just one of my favorite all-time moves. Then from there, I could actually run acrobatics on this Greninja. I know, definitely not a standard move from Greninja, but I really want to mix up my opponents and make sure they don't know what's coming. Acrobatics does double damage if you're not holding an item, and as a gym leader, most of my Pokemon aren't going to be holding items just to keep things fair. So this move naturally is going to be doing a lot of damage. Plus, it covers both fighting and bug types, which are something that my team would be pretty weak to. Then finally, if I'm able to get to a move tutor, I would love to teach this Greninja Gunk Shot, because once again, that'll cover the fairy type weakness. So overall, this Greninja would be my answer to a lot of potential problems that would be coming my way. It would cover a lot of the bad matchups for me, and just overall be a strong Pokemon that can easily pivot out of bad situations. Now my fifth Pokemon is kind of my most versatile slot. There's a lot of decent Pokemon that would fit right here, like having an Alolan Muck, Dark and Poison type, it would cover a lot of my weaknesses, but as a trainer in the Johto region, I don't think I'd be able to get one of these that easily, plus I'm not really a huge fan of Alolan Muck, so I'd pass on that one. So I think instead, I would go with the Hydreigon. Now that does create a little bit of a problem. So the gym leaders in Johto, their Pokemon are kinda low leveled. The 8th gym leader Claire, her strongest Pokemon is only at level 41. And normally Zweilous doesn't evolve into Hydreigon until level 64. So you see where the problem is there. But I'll give myself a little bit of a pass on this one, because Ghetsis in Pokemon Black and White, he has one at level 54, and Johto, well, it's known for Lance and his underleveled Dragonite, so if they could get underleveled Pokemon, I could get an underleveled Pokemon too, and I'm going to use an underleveled Hydreigon. And as for the moveset, I think I'll go with the tried and true Ghetsis moveset. We'll teach it Dragon Pulse, Fire Blast, Focus Blast, and Surf. All of those moves give this Pokemon really good coverage. It can basically hit a lot of different types for super effective damage. I could definitely see this Pokemon giving a lot of trainers I fight a tough time, and to make that even tougher, I'll be giving this Hydreigon the Citrus Berry. I think that's a pretty standard item for gym leaders to give their Pokemon, and I think that would make it nice and challenging for any trainer who wants to come my way. And finally, as my last Pokemon, this is a pretty important decision for me to make. I think I'll use a Gyarados. But Poketips, Gyarados is a water and a flying type. That's not a dark type, you're a liar! Well, we're not going with just a regular Gyarados, we're going with a Mega Gyarados. That's right, I'm bringing Mega Stones over to the Johto region, and I think it's super appropriate for me to have a Gyarados on my team. Number one, I'm gonna be a gym leader at the Lake of Rage, home of the Red Gyarados, so I gotta represent my Gyarados fan by using a Gyarados on the team. And it's also another very powerful Pokemon. I don't need to explain to you why Gyarados is a strong Pokemon. As for the ability, I'll make sure it has Intimidate, so before I Mega Evolve, it'll lower my opponent's attack stats. Now for the moveset, we're gonna go with a nice Sweeper Gyarados moveset. We're gonna give it Waterfall, a nice physical water type attacking move. We're gonna give it Crunch, so it can use that dark type. We'll also give it Bounce, because, you know, why not? Bounce is a pretty memey move, I love memey moves. It's also not a bad move, because it has a chance of paralyzing my opponent, and it provides flying type coverage, which my Gyarados would appreciate. And for the last move, we'll give it Dragon Dance. This is my dangerous comeback Pokemon. This will be the challenge right here. If you can defeat my Mega Gyarados, then you definitely deserve my badge. So that's my team, and if you get it, obviously you get a gym badge. Now for the name, I was gonna go with the obvious one, the Dark badge, but Piers and Marnie already took that one, thanks guys. So I was also thinking the Rage badge would be a good name for it, because you know my gym is located at the Lake of Rage, but that makes Dark type Pokemon seem evil. So I think instead I'll go with the Midnight badge. Because when you think of Midnight, you think of darkness, and also it's a little bit past midnight right now when I'm recording this video, so I think it's pretty appropriate. And there you have it, the Poketips Gym. I think it would be pretty cool. It fits right into the Kanto and Johto League. It adds a pretty unique type for a gym leader, and that gym puzzle will just be pure evil. I hope someday we see a gym puzzle like that in a Pokemon game. It would be kinda crazy going up against a disadvantage like that. So now that we have my gym, I want to hear about your gym. In the comment section, tell me what type of gym leader you would be, where you'd set it up, all that good stuff, or if you want, even make a little response video to this. I think this would be pretty cool to see lots of people create their own take on what they would be like if they were a Pokemon gym leader. My friends, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up right now, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new and you enjoy my Pokemon content. As always, thanks so much for watching, and my friends, I'll be seeing you in the next one, maybe at my gym someday.